Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. Thank you for attending here today. My name is Gear Fisher. I am one of the co-founders of Onform. And today we are talking about a brand new product that we've been working on for quite a while called Multicam Max. It's our studio recording solution, and we're really excited about it because it rounds out sort of the recording and tools that we provide through Onform. This is a brand new product, and in fact, we won't even start shipping it here for a couple more days, but it is going to start shipping July 1st. We'll talk more about its availability. And we have a lot to show you today. We're going to walk through the configuration, etc. We're going to do a live demo and dive right in. So if you do have questions along the way, I'm going to pause here and there for Q&A. You can use the Zoom chat feature to ask questions. We have a couple members of our staff listening in here today, and they will try and answer questions or surface them up to me to answer live. And I think that's about all we need to cover in terms of getting started. So let's dive right in. And the quick overview here is that we have made it so that you can actually get the live feed from fixed cameras, typically used in a studio, pulled into your iPad wirelessly, running just the regular Onform coaching app. Why did we build it? Well, it's something that we have been trying to achieve from the day we launched. We want to be everywhere that a coach is recording, indoors, outdoors, in facilities. And so the studio is a place that has traditionally been used with fixed cameras. We wanted a light switch easy product where you walk in, tap connect to bay one, and boom, the video feed's ready to go. You don't have to worry about focus. You don't have to worry about position. And it's just so easy to use that it makes it just a no-brainer because you use the same workflows that you would use if you were using the built-in camera on your iPhone or iPad. Now, why is so that we could be everywhere you are? I think Visa maybe coined that first, but the real key difference here is that we actually use the iPad. Traditional recording studio, you would have a PC running a big Windows app, and you're basically stuck behind the desk, or you're not able to interact with drawing tools and do side-by-side slow motion comparisons unless you're sitting back at a desk in your hitting bay or in your studio. So the big unlock here is that now you simply use your iPad and you can use it wirelessly. So it unlocks kind of a new way of working and just keeps that same feel, whether you're outdoors or indoors. We're going to talk today about the setup of two different camera systems that we support. One is an Ethernet setup with OptiTrack cameras. These are cameras that have not really been used in hitting bay in the past. OptiTrack is the same company that makes gears. They've been around a long time. They make really high quality stuff. And we're going to show you an OptiTrack setup. We're also going to walk through a setup with FLIR cameras that use USB. And we're going to show you how the actual RPC app, the camera connector, works as well. Plus, we'll do a live demo. I've got Michael here waiting. He's excited to show you his swing and be our model for the day. And of course, we'll take Q&A during, before, and after, etc. So let's talk a little bit about the actual setup. And the real use is that you use the same Onform app that you're used to. There's nothing else needed. You simply would purchase Multicam Max as an add-on and be able to use the feed from the live cameras, much like you do the regular cameras on the iPad. And from there, everything else is the same. You can use the same 3D features, the same drawing tools, comparison, et cetera, et cetera. You now don't have to go from one system to another. We've heard so many coaches have different software for their indoor studio, They end up exporting videos from that system into Onform to actually share and communicate with their students. And so this eliminates all that mess, and it makes it easy to simply record the same way you do indoors and out. This is a professional solution. Certainly the cameras are more expensive. You know, you have to either purchase the FLIR cameras or the OptiTrack cameras or IDS cameras. And one of the great things is that you can upgrade any system that you already have, because we've made our system compatible with multiple camera vendors, and we intend to make it available for even more in the future. So if you already have a system from one of the existing manufacturers, there's a good chance the cameras are already compatible with Multicam Max. Okay, I'd like to take you through a little pre-recorded video that we did, and just to show you the setup so that it's super clear how this works. And I think you'll find it quite straightforward. Let's go ahead and share this video if I can get my Zoom to play nice. One moment. Okay. All right, I think everybody can now see this video. Let me go ahead and play this. So this is our hitting studio here that I'm broadcasting from today. And essentially, you can see that normally these studio setups are, you know, you'd have the cameras mounted on the walls. Your computer might be under a desk or in a closet. We set this up outside here with the wires exposed and everything, so we could show you the exact layout, right? So here we have an OptiTrack camera down the line. We have another camera set over here for face on. They're wired into this computer using an Ethernet switch. And then on the computer, we have the Onform camera connector app running. So if I continue to play the video here, I'm going to kind of walk through each of these. And the first thing you'll notice as we kind of pan around here, here is an OptiTrack camera, and we've actually mounted it in a portrait orientation. Part of the flexibility of our Multicam Max is that it's working with your iPad, and some people work with their iPad in a portrait layout. Some work with it in a landscape layout. So depending on how you like to hold your iPad, you can adjust the cameras such that they fit the screen the best for your particular chosen way to use the system. You can also rotate the screen once you recorded it, but I just kind of wanted to call out that these OptiTrack cameras can be mounted in portrait mode, which also allows them to be actually very close to your subject. Really handy in face-on recordings, because they have a full 1920 by 1080 resolution at 240 FPS, and they can go all the way up to 500 FPS, albeit at a lower resolution. It'll also do 1280 by 720 at 360 FPS, all with really fast shutter speed, so you get really clear stop motion. These cameras are really the top of the line that we have offered. They've not been readily used in the past, but these are incredibly good cameras. We'll talk more about the particular configurations in a little bit. Let's keep on chugging here through our explainer demo video. We're going to pan over now to the computer setup. Again, nothing too fancy. It's just out in the open here. But here we've got a switch, the white box, and we sell a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet switch that would come with the system. You simply plug each camera into the switch and plug your PC into the switch, and that is how your computer will communicate with the cameras. As we carry on through our system, here's the here's the face-on camera. Again, same thing in portrait orientation, and you're going to see how this works here in a few minutes. And finally, we're going to swing over. This is a Windows computer, and on that computer, it's a Windows 11 installation. Obviously, the more fancier stuff you buy, the more CPU, the more better graphics card, obviously makes everything faster. But we've made sure that it works with all the standard computer configurations. And definitely you'll want to talk to us about which type of computer you'd buy if you don't already have one, or check with us to make sure your computer is compatible with the system that you might purchase or upgrade to. So the camera connector app runs on the PC. it communicates to the cameras, and then it broadcasts the camera feed over to the iPad. And here I just wanted to run through the simple installation of the camera connector. So you'll download the camera connector setup from our website, double click the zip file, and then double click on the setup exe. It runs through the install, and as you can imagine, like pretty much every other Windows app, it'll install a little icon. And what I really want to draw your attention to is over here in the corner. Unlike other studio software apps, you do not use the PC to view the camera feeds. Instead, there's a small app that runs in the system tray, which is accessible down on this little arrow on your Windows 11 computer, and it runs the camera connector. And the camera connector gives you access to different settings. When you use the camera connector, it adjusts the settings of all the cameras at once, and you can adjust FPS, gain, shutter speed, gamma. These are all things to control lighting, frames per second, shutter speed, super important to get that clear shaft video. But this is all it does. It just runs in the system tray. I can configure it here, or I'm going to show in a minute how you can do these configurations from the iPad itself. And then what's the beauty of all this? Well, of course, it means I, as a coach, can hold the iPad, work with my student, maybe help them with their grip, posture, etc. I can be up with them. And I'll draw your attention here that we're broadcasting the iPad up to a TV here in the studio. So again, I can use all the same drawing tools with the student as needed. And of course, I can do 3D, I can do comparisons, I can do line drawings. And again, just like the normal Onform app, only I'm not stuck behind my desk. I'm actually up with a student, and I can choose to interact with them right in front of them. Okay, I want to pause for a second, and we're going to dive into now the FLIR studio that I have set up right next to us. We have two studios here at Onform headquarters, and there's not a whole lot more different than in this setup, but here we have two FLIR cameras. These are a little bit lower frames per second, but still good cameras, really good at stop motion, but they are connected to this laptop here using USB. Now, the beauty of that is you get a little less length of cable usually, so you might not be able to have as much flexibility in terms of installation, but you don't need Ethernet switch. You don't need any configurations. You simply plug the two cameras into a computer or a laptop like I've done here, and that's it. The camera connector automatically finds them, and away you go. Now, these are the same FLIR cameras that have been used for many, many years. SwingCat and many other systems have used these, and these also are very similar to the IDS cameras, little square with a lens. And we will help you pick the type of lens, the type of camera for your particular situation by contacting our support sales team. We will work with you to get a custom configuration set up, make sure it works in your environment. But sure enough, here we are. Again, we've set it up out in the open. We're using eye-range stands that you can mount the cameras to very simply, and they're connected back to the laptop that you see in the background here. That is the quick tour of the kind of setup and configuration. And again, those cameras will simply capture the student as needed and send the video right to the camera, right to the iPad wirelessly over your Wi-Fi network in your studio. Okay, I want to pause there and check for some questions that we might have come up during my conversation here. First question, can you mix the type of cameras using OptiTrack and FLIR or IDS? Short answer to that is no. You'll need to have the same cameras in your environment in order for the protocols to work properly and connect properly. So you can't mix and match. You would have to use all the same type of camera manufacturer per studio bay. Let me check and see if we have any other questions. Looks like we're pretty good. And I want to point out that depending on the cameras you choose, obviously there's a cost implication. We also have the ability to set up multiple bays in a studio. Each one would need its own Onform Multicam Max subscription, the bay. But the great thing is that these bays, we price the multicam setup per bay. And once it's installed in a bay, it can be used by anybody in your facility, coaches or students. So you might have a facility set up where students could come in and on their own connect to those cameras and practice. If you have a multi-coach, multi-bay facility, and you might have one lesson in bay 1, and then your next lesson is in bay 2, it's very easy to switch between them. And we're actually going to demonstrate that in a second. Here's one other question. Do you have to have a switch for the cameras to connect to the computer, or can they connect separately? Yeah, you'll need a switch in an Ethernet setup. You might already have an existing Ethernet switch, but that switch is how any Ethernet network connects devices, whether that's 10 computers in your office or computers and these cameras. They would all go into the switch, and that would connect then into the computer. Part of the reason for that is also the cameras are powered over Ethernet or PoE. So that little switch supplies the power to the cameras, because once you plug it in and turn it on, you're going to leave it on essentially always. And so it's very easy. You don't need separate plugs for power. It all gets powered over the Ethernet using the PoE switch and the PoE connection to the camera. In a USB scenario, it's being powered through the cable as well. It's just being powered over the USB cables. All right, let's get to the really exciting part of the demo, the live demo. I know Mike has been very excited to get busy. I'm going to share my iPad now, and we're going to do a live view here. Again, if the Zoom gods are happy. And okay, I think you can all see my iPad now. And here we are in a normal workspace, and you're looking at the video of my iPad camera, because you can also easily switch between your Multicam Max cameras as well as your built-in iPad camera as well. But to connect to the multicam system, and you can see it here, there's the face-on camera, here's the down-the-line camera. I'm simply going to tap on the multicam button and say connect to bay 1. And just like that, we pull the feed of the cameras from the two cameras here in bay 1. And I want to mention a couple things here. This is a rather low resolution live feed from the cameras over your Wi-Fi to the iPad. So you might notice it's a little pixelated, but that is intended because we don't want to drown the Wi-Fi network just with a live feed. The final resulting video is much higher quality, higher resolution. But Mike, it's your time to shine. Let's go ahead and take a video. I'm going to record this in our manual mode. All the same recording modes are available to you using the fixed camera system. Go ahead and take a swing. So I'm going to hit record. Go ahead and swing. And I hit stop. And a few seconds later, you're going to see that video thumbnail pop up down at the bottom, just like normal. Go ahead and take one more swing, Mike. Let's grab a second. Okay, so I'm going to hit start. He's going to take a swing. And there's about a 1 second latency to the live feed, but it's very easy to simply record. And here's the result. I pull it up, and the first thing you'll notice is the video fills the whole screen of the iPad here in landscape mode. And we've got the shutter speed turned way up, and we've also automatically zoomed the subject so that both the left and the right are basically the same height. So now if I play this video, you'll see we get perfect frame synchronization and incredibly good shutter speed for that perfect stop motion at impact. So it looks like Mike hit a little off the toe there. You can see his club face bend a little bit in reacting to hit the ball, and you can watch the whole thing. And this is at 240 FPS. All straight there. And of course, we have access to all the same drawing tools that Onform has. I can switch to 3D. I can do all the same things that I normally would do with a video. Now, I also want to demonstrate our auto detect mode, because you can use Multicam Max totally hands-free. So Mike, go ahead and take a swing. So he swings, you'll see it turn orange, the outline of the screen, and a couple of seconds later, it's automatically going to have that video right here. That was all hands-free, using auto detect, and you get the same reaction. It's also computing 3D live. So we'll see that pull up here in just a second. But there's the auto detected swing where he hit it a little bit off the heel that time, off to the left. So the real takeaway here is that it works just like your normal iPad camera. There's once you have it connected, there's no difference. It's just there, it's available. You use all the same recording modes you'd like, and it just is pulling the full resolution feed from the cameras themselves. Now, I want to show something that's really unique to the Multicam Max system. And that is, if I hit the little more icon here on the video, I can now adjust this particular camera, the settings. I can manually calibrate shutter speed, gain, gamma. I can rotate the frame however I'd like. I can change this camera position to 1 or 2, but I can control that independently. And here's the real power of that. In a lot of different studios, the lighting, especially if you open up a door and you're hitting out into the sunny range, the lighting for each camera is very different. So we wanted to make sure you could adjust the settings so that both of them are independent. You can make sure you can get exactly the right settings you need depending on the lighting situation, and you can control that on both cameras. And you'll note I do have to designate which camera I want to use for auto detect, and so that can be either, but I just happen to set it to the face on one here. So the takeaway works just like normal. You get to custom set all the settings per individual camera right from the iPad. And if you use the camera connector over on the Windows computer, you're setting those settings for all the cameras in the system. And you can see here's the 3 videos that we took, and they're uploading to the cloud like normal. And again, here we've even done 3D, and you get all the same benefits of all of our tools built into Onform. Now, here's maybe what the coolest part is. My next lesson shows up, and you'll see it automatically reconnects to the last known bay. I can tap on the multicam button and say connect to bay 2. Well, guess what? There's Mike. So now it's pulling the video feed from the FLIR cameras in the hitting bay next to us. That's our 3D motion capture lab. Now, these cameras have a different aspect ratio. They have different light sensitivity, and we don't actually have our full light setting set up in there today. But Mike, why don't you go ahead and take a swing? Again, this is set to auto detect. Here I'm auto detecting from the rear view. And there you go. There is the final result. We'll jump back into camera 2. And there is from the FLIR cameras, again, great, perfect stop motion, perfect synchronization. And we have the recording just like we normally would. So we can switch from bay 1 to bay 2, no problem. If I really want to go back, I can even come back and connect back to bay 1, and it's just that easy to pull the feed from now bay 1. So as your coaches float in and out of your facility, no matter where they are or which bay they have a lesson, it's so easy to switch. You can keep them all pre-configured. You always get the same camera angle and all the benefits of having the light switch easy setup. All right, we have touched and covered on a lot of different functionality here. Multicam Max will be available July 1st. I want to jump back to our main screen here. One moment, please. And finish off talking about pricing. Okay, so pricing for Multicam Max. It's an add-on to your Coach Standard or Coach Pro Onform subscription. You can upgrade for as little as $4.99, meaning if you already have FLIR or IDS cameras, you can simply add on the Multicam Max option, which gives you a 1-year support for a bay at $4.99 per year. And you can get a brand new installation for as little as $9.99 if you for a 1-camera FLIR setup using USB and an existing computer. And then we've put together a few different packages as an example. So the camera connector core software is $4.99 a year per bay. When you buy an OptiTrack Prime Color, that's what the name of those OptiTrack cameras are, the Prime Color. They are $21.99 each for the cameras, but we would include an Ethernet switch, all the cables you need, the camera connector. It will require an existing Coach account, but that'd be $5,000 up front and $4.99 a year for the renewal. If you use the FLIR bundle, we can sell you 2 FLIR Blackfly cameras. You would get the Onform camera connector as well, and that would be $16.99 for the year and then $4.99 thereafter. Of course, you can purchase these on your own as well. If you want to go out and source these cameras, just make sure you talk to us in terms of compatibility. FLIR makes a bunch of different models. We have a few suggestions. You can also use IDS cameras. TrackMan has forever recommended IDS cameras, German company. They work great with our system. And so if you want to procure your own cameras, then that's totally fine. If you want to work through us, we're happy to do that and ship them to you. And then we'll help you with a computer configuration for your scenario as needed. And you'll need 1 computer per bay in order to drive the cameras and broadcast that out over Wi-Fi to your iPad. All right, look at that, 28 minutes in. I think we were targeting 30, so that's pretty close. Let me check with the team here real quick and see if we have any other questions. Is it compatible with the switch I used with Gears? Most likely it is. Just send us the information that you have. Since you're already using Gears, it's already putting a lot of high bandwidth data through that switch. So my guess is most likely yes. But just talk to us and give us the exact model number and parameters, and we'll just make sure of that. A brand new switch, again, you can procure these yourself, or we have a link on our support page to an Amazon shop page, around $85, $95 for a 2.5 gigabit switch. If you're using 4 cameras, you'll want a 10 gigabit switch, just because the amount of data that's pouring through. A little bit fancier configuration, but again, Multicam Max will work with 1 to 4 cameras using either of the OptiTrack, FLIR, or IDS cameras. Will you offer a reseller or affiliate program? We haven't contemplated that yet. We are just getting off the ground selling it ourselves. So something we'll certainly think of or consider, but as of today, no, we don't have a reseller program. We want to make sure that we can get everybody up to speed and going. We already have a couple customers out there using the system and have been using the system for many months. As we went through the testing, you can see the Vintage Club was a great customer there. And we've also been working with a few other groups to test the system prior to launch, but we're really excited to be where we're at. And as we think about it, we'll figure out a reseller or affiliate program if that makes sense. Okay. Well, I hope today's demonstration showed all the different capabilities of Multicam Max. Again, it's a system you can install in a studio. It uses a PC running our Onform camera connector app, a small little app that sits in the system tray and broadcasts the video feed over to your iPad. The great thing is you can use your single iPad running your Onform Coach app indoors and outdoors now. You don't need to switch systems. It works with 3 different camera manufacturers and gives you a lot of customization capability right on the iPad to control the camera settings. I hope this has been useful. If you have any questions, please reach out to our team, support@Onform, or scan those little codes. We officially start shipping the system July 1st. We've already got a few orders that we're thankful and appreciative for. I'm heading down today to install this at PGA headquarters, so we're excited about that as well. And we look forward to working with many of you to get Multicam Max set up for your facility or in your studio. Thanks for watching today. As always, you can reach out to me directly, gear@onform.com, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.